Welcome, everybody, to Intensity Broadcasting. Tonight, we are at Phoenix Raceway, where the best eNASCAR drivers on the platform will compete in the SCSRA Xfinity Series season finale. This is a 150-lap race around this 1-mile oval, and it's sure to be an exciting one. The drivers in this race are some of the best eNASCAR drivers on the platform. Many drivers in the field tonight have been on iRacing for a very long time, with some having 10-plus years of iRacing experience. The competition will be fierce, and there's sure to be some close racing. Phoenix Raceway is a challenging track. It's a fairly short track, so there's not a lot of room for error, and the corners are tight, so it's important to be precise with your driving. The track conditions are also going to be a factor in this race. Tonight's event will take place at sunset, creating cooler track temperatures. Drivers will have to be very careful out. This is going to be an exciting race, and I can't wait to see who comes out on top, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Last week, for the final race of the round of 8, we were at Nashville Superspeedway, where Devin Butchino grabbed his second win of the season. Devin, he did not dominate the race. He did not lead the most laps. He only led 28 laps. But he ended up parking in victory lane after starting in second, finishing second behind him after starting in third. That was Jeffrey Belk. Jeff led 22 laps. Third was Eddie Morris. Finishing fourth was Michael Lawrence, who led 2 laps. And rounding out your top 5, that was Joe Wright, who actually led the race most, 82 laps. And then our other lap leader was Cody Moore, who finished 10th. He led 1 lap. So here we go, heading into tonight's event after the events of last week at Nashville Superspeedway. Here is a look at your final 4. Let me get it up here. So let's introduce your final 4 tonight. So your first driver's got 2 wins this season, 1 pole, 10 top 5s, 14 top 10s from Newcastle, Delaware. That is Jeffrey Belk. In second place, he's also got 2 wins this season, 2 poles, 10 top 5s, 14 top 10s. From Plattsburgh, New York, it's Devin Butchino. Your third Final 4 driver, got 1 win this season, 3 poles, 7 top 5s, and 13 top 10s. From Sevierville, Tennessee, it's Eddie Morris. And then your final 4 driver, kind of the dark horse. He's got 0 wins, 0 poles, 7 top 5s, 12 top 10s. It's Joe Wright. So there we go. We got a stout Final 4 ready to duke it out for the championship. Jeffrey Belk, Devin Butchino, Eddie Morris, and Joe Wright. Good luck to all of them. It's going to be fun to watch them duke it out. And also, I'm going to go over the team championship. Heading into this race, it's looking like CCM is going to get the team championship victory here. They've got 9 wins this season. 6 of those wins coming from Brian Nudie, 2 of them coming from Austin Blaylock, and 1 of them coming from Eddie Morris. Second in the team standing, that's IDBC Racing. They've gotten 2 wins this season, both of them coming from Jeffrey Belk. Third in the team standings, that is Neon Racing. They've gotten 2 wins this season, both of them coming from Devin Butchino. Fourth is Wasted Wages Racing. They've gotten 2 wins this season. Both of those wins have come from Colin Willems. Fifth is Cheeseburger Motorsport. And Cheeseburger Motorsport, they do not have any wins this season. Their highest driver in the standings is Michael Lawrence, who is 13th in the standings. Cheeseburger has gotten 2 top 5, 6 top 10s this season. And then lastly, we got our independents at 6th. The highest independent in the standings is Edward Manning, who sits 19th. He's not scored any top 5s, any top 10s this season. He ran in 3 races. So qualifying underway here. Brian Myrtle Jr. is on the top of the board. 27.57 is the time for that 13 machine. 2 tenths behind him in second. That's Cheeseburger with a 27.81. And then in third, it's Cody Moore with a 27.89, putting Cody 0.3 off of Brian Merle Jr. Do want to mention, this is the first time that the SCSRA Xfinity Series has ever ran at this track. The Truck Series ran here this season, but the Xfinity Series never has. So this is going to be a fun, new, exciting opportunity to learn a new track for these drivers. This might be the first time some of these drivers on track have ever raced here, so some people will pick it up quickly and some people might struggle. And I know the Championship 4 drivers are hoping that they are not going to be the drivers in that struggle category. Cody Moore's to the top of the board, 27.50 is the time for Cody, 0.07 ahead of second place Brian Merle Jr. One last time this season, want to give a big thank you to our series sponsor, Dev Sports Cards. I want to announce that Dev Sports Cards will be returning next season to sponsor the Next Gen Series that will be running on Wednesday nights. And Dev Sports Cards was established in 2013 by SCSRA driver and Neon Racing team owner Devin Butchino. Dev Sports Cards specializes in all your sports cards and gaming cards needs, from football, baseball, and basketball cards to Pokemon. Dev Sports Cards sells it all. On their eBay store, you can find a wide variety of items, from high-end sports cards to their weekly 99-cent starting bid 7-day auctions. Don't have time to sell your own cards? Reach out to Devin and ask about his consignment services. Simply package them up, ship them out, and Devin will get them listed, sold, and then you get paid. Dev Sports Cards can be found on eBay with 4,000 plus positive feedback, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Dev Sports Cards is a proud sponsor of the SCSRA Series and Intensity Broadcasting. So thank you so much to Dev Sports Cards for sponsoring this Xfinity Series and supporting the SCSRA. Definitely make sure to go check out the eBay store. Put the link to it in the description so you can pick up some sports cards, whether it may be for yourself, maybe a birthday coming up. Maybe mom has a favorite player. You can get her a card for Mother's Day, Father's Day coming up. A lot of occasions that are good to have sports cards for. So definitely go check out Dev Sports Cards. Top 3 in qualifying has not changed, but we've got 2 Wright brothers on the track trying to break into that top 3. One of the 2 being Joe. Joe, one of our Final 4 contenders, looking to have a good qualifying run and start tonight off right. Same thing with Eddie Morris, one of our other Final 4 drivers. We've got 4 drivers, of course, but got a bunch of other cars on track as well. It's not just going to be your Final 4, so other drivers besides your Final 4 are going to be competing for the win. Guys like Cody Moore, Brian Merle Jr., Cheeseburger, Josh Hall. Watch out for Dave Wright. Looking to play spoiler tonight. I would say Cody Moore is your best bet for a spoiler. He won the only other race that the SCSRA has ever held here at Phoenix, and that was back on April 4th in the Truck Series. Cody got it done. And I believe that was his first race back in the Xfinity Series after a little bit of a hiatus. So he showed no signs of rust at Phoenix. He's looking pretty good. We got Eddie Morris to the top of the board, though. 27.38 for Eddie. That'll put him a 10th ahead of second place Cody Moore. Brian Merle Jr. will fall down to 3rd. And we see Dave Wright going for a spin as they head into 1 and 2. This is a very odd-shaped track, and you'll see it as we get into the racing. Before we talk a little bit about the track, I want to thank Butt Kicker for partnering with Intensity Broadcasting. For those of you who don't know what Butt Kicker is, let me tell you a little bit about them. Butt Kicker is the established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel ultra low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is the new and upgraded sim racing and gaming hardware that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one is right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Again, thebuttkicker.com is the website belonging to the established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. So thank you so much to the Butt Kicker for partnering with Intensity Broadcasting. If you were an iRacer, definitely consider checking them up. Butt Kickers are easy to install to whatever sim racing rig you have, whether it's just a desk chair and a stand wheel, or maybe you got a very fancy rig, who knows? But no matter the rig you have, very easy to install, and it makes for an incredible iRacing experience. You can feel every little thing on the sim. It's like iRacing in a 4D movie theater. Always make sure to use mine whenever I'm on the iRacing sim. Keys to the race tonight here at Phoenix. Tires. Gotta save those tires. The drivers that can save those tires the best are going to be very successful tonight. Keep in mind, this Phoenix Raceway has a dog leg as you head off of the front stretch. So we may see drivers utilizing that dog leg if they choose. It may come into play if we have on the restarts, whether it be on the start or the stage break or any cautions we will have. That dog leg may come into play. Of course, this is a fairly short track. It's not exactly a short track. It's above a mile. But still, it is a fairly short track. So we may see some short track shenanigans ensue, bump and runs and stuff like that. And then lastly, this track has a very odd pit road. Pit road is on the back stretch, or at least the entry is. And you've got a long way all the way to where the pit stalls begin. So drivers have to remember that that pit road is coming off of 2. All right, let's take a look at your starting lineup tonight, and look at this. Grabbing his second pole of the season, one of your Final Four contenders, driver for IDBC Sim Racing. It's going to be Jeffrey Belk in the 4. Outside of him, one of his Final Four competitors in that 8 machine, driver for CCM, that's Eddie Morris. Third is Neon Racing's Devin Butchino in the 68. One of our Final Four contenders. Your top 3 is all Final Four drivers. And then separating the Final Four drivers from each other is David Hartney, driver for IDBC Sim Racing, in the 43. Rounding out your top 5, it's the 52 Wasted Wages Racing driver of Cody Moore. Actually, no, he's running with Neon Racing tonight. In 6th, it's Neon Racing's Brian Myrtle Jr. in the 13. 7th, it's Cheeseburger in the 47. 8th, your Final Four contender, Joe Wright in the CCM 82. 9th is Josh Hall in the IDBC Racing number 81. And rounding out your top 10, that's Dave Wright in the 84. 10 drivers all looking for the win tonight. But it's really just 4 that really want it. And here's how it's going to work here with the format. The highest finishing Final Four driver will win the race. A Final Four driver, will win the championship. If a Final Four driver does not win the race, then it'll be the highest finishing one. So, again, don't have to win the race. You just have to be the highest finishing driver among all of the Final Four drivers. It's typically common for the Final Four driver to win, but last night at Las Vegas, we did not see that for the Truck Series. A non-Final Four driver won the race, so just keep that in mind. Green flag is out here, and the season finale is underway. Jeffrey Belk leads the field into the dogleg, and there we go. He goes down onto that dogleg. Some drivers staying up above it. Here comes Eddie Morris on the outside. He did not go down on that dogleg, and he's got a nice run running up there against the wall, but now the momentum is down to Devin Butchino on the bottom of that racetrack. Door to door between Butchino, Morris on the backstretch behind them. Watch out for Cody Moore and David Hartney. David Hartney trying to make it 3 wide between Morris and Butchino. Jeffrey Belk going to lead the first lap. Oh, and we see David Hartney is around. Caution flag is out. Oh, he makes contact with another driver. I believe that was Josh Hall. And this will bring out the first caution of the race. This has got to be one of the first non-stage break cautions that we have seen in this series in a while. This is such a clean series. Very rarely we see a caution, but looks like we saw some short track shenanigans there, causing David Hartney to go around. All right, let's watch the wreckage replay. David Hartney running behind Eddie Morris, Devin Butchino, who are side by side. He's got Cody Moore on his inside. And looks like David Hartney was going down. Ooh! That's some bad net code right there. David Hartney was going down to maybe go into the dog leg. And let's look at this. Let's take a look at his left rear. Watch this. Ooh. It may have. Maybe we'll look at Cody Moore's right front. It got pretty close. But I don't believe he hit him there. I think that was net code. We'll take a look at one more angle. This is the chase cam of Cody Moore. Got awfully close. Hartney was definitely coming down the racetrack. And we see he goes around there. Tags the outside wall, getting some left front damage. And then as he goes down the racetrack, hits the right side of Josh Hall. Looks like the right front of that 43 machine is floating in the air. David Hartney, not one of our final four drivers. But unfortunate for him regardless. We saw Josh Hall came into the pits. Maybe to get some damage repaired. Did he take tires perhaps? Yeah, he took 4 tires. David Hartney might have taken tires as well. Pace car is in. We're getting ready to go back green here. Jeffrey Belk restarting on the bottom. Devin Butchino restarting on the top. Behind them, Eddie Morris, Cody Moore. And we got Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence in that 5th place position. Top 3, all final 4 drivers. Green flag is back out. There's Jeffrey Belk taking off. Door-to-door between Eddie Morris and Devin Butchino as they head into the dogleg. Both drivers go down there. Good run off, though, for Devin Butchino. And he is going to try to get ahead of Eddie Morris. We got Cody Moore on the outside of Morris for that 3rd place position. Cody's got the nose over Eddie as they head off of turn number 2 there. Looks like David Hartney onto pit road. Cody Moore, wow. Nice run, surprisingly good run on that outside. He's able to get clear of Eddie. As I say that, Eddie dives it down onto the dogleg. But looks like he lost a ton of ground there. And now the battle is on for that 2nd place position. Cody Moore reeling in. Devin Butchino getting very, very close to that back bumper. Looking to try to make the move. He can't quite get underneath him through 3 and 4. Maybe going to try to dive it down onto that dog leg. Nope. Cody Moore will stay above that yellow line and try to set up a pass on Devin Butchino somewhere else. We see a very... Oh, Brian Merle Jr. to the outside wall. Few drivers get into the outside wall off of 2 there. Devin Butchino just ran the fastest lap time of the race last time by. 27.77 is the time for that 68 machine. But regardless, we see Cody Moore dives it down into 1 and 2. Moore with the nose. Wow. Great run for that 52 machine. he is able to shut the door. Cody Moore now to that runner-up position. He will set his sights on your leader, Jeffrey Belk. And already Cody Moore extending that gap between himself and Devin Butchino. Now Brian Merle Jr. beginning to reel in his teammate for this third place position. We watch the battle for first place now. Belk with a 3/10 lead over second place Cody Moore. But that's not too much. Cody Moore is charging hard right now. He was a 10th faster than Belk last time by. And look at that run through 3 and 4. He's able to get right up to the back bumper. He's looking low, heading through the dog leg into 1 and 2. And wow, he's just got such a great run there through 1 and 2 on that bottom. And he is able to get clear over Jeffrey Belk there into that first place position. Belk not letting him get too far ahead. He's staying right there behind him. Looks like the bottom's exposed there through 3 and 4. But Cody Moore keeping Belk at bay for the time being. Now, on the bottom, Belk has the momentum through 1 and 2. He got awfully close there to the back bumper of Cody Moore. We see Moore tagging that outside wall, loses a ton of momentum, and Belk looks underneath him through 3 and 4. Belk has the nose that they head off to the corner, heading towards the start-finish line. Cody is about his door. Belk diving it down onto the dog leg, trying to clear Cody. But Cody continues to hold his own on that outside, but it's not enough. Nope. Cody actually stays on the rear quarter panel of Jeffrey Belk, and he's got a nice run off of turn number 2 there, but Jeffrey Belk is able to shut the door, and he goes back to that second place position. Watch out. Your top 3 very tight together. Your top 4, Butchino and Junior right behind this battle as well. So now the gap between Belk and Moore is extending. Devin Butchino going to try to get back by Cody Moore for this second place position. But the gap between Moore and Butchino is increasing. Butchino loses ground there through 3 and 4 on the entry of the corner. Trying his best to keep up with that 52 machine. Butchino looking to see what Moore's doing. Where he's braking, where he's lifting, where he's getting back into the gas. Oh, we see Brian Merle Jr. on the outside wall once again. A lot of drivers struggling off the 2 there, pushing up into the outside wall already, despite these tires still being fairly fresh. Shows just how abrasive this track is. Cody Moore trying to reel Jeffrey Belk back in for this lead. All while playing defense, trying to hold off Devin Butchino. Nice run there for Cody Moore. Looks like he closes that gap between himself and Jeffrey Belk. Getting closer and closer to that back bumper. Cody looking to see where Belk is leaving any room for Cody to get underneath him. Waiting for the right opportunity. Cody's a smart driver. He's a smart, patient driver, so he'll wait until the time is exactly right to make that move. As I say that, though, the gap between Belk and Moore increases a little bit. Moore has very good exit speed, while Belk is able to get him in entry of the corner. Just looks like Moore has a lot better drive off. And that may be from what he's doing on entry of the corner. Belk might want to maybe change his line or where he's getting out of the gas to get a better drive off. Because Cody Moore, he is hard charging and looking underneath. He's not underneath Belk yet, but he's right there. It's all about experimenting. This is the first time that these drivers have ever been on the track in this car for a lot of people. So it's experimenting, figuring out the track, figuring out what's the best line for making a pass, what's the best line for saving tires. Same thing for braking and throttle input. Oh! Brian Merle Jr. hard into the outside wall. We got a battle for second brewing. Butchino trying to reel in Cody Moore for this second place position. Your top three has really been battling it out. Belk, Moore, Butchino. Cody Moore, it seems to be running a lot higher through 1 and 2 than where Butchino's at. Well, we see he had a nice run on exit. That might be the secret. That higher entry for Cody. Able to extend that gap between himself and Devin Butchino. Elsewhere in the field, one of your Championship 4 drivers, Joe Wright, trying to work his way up through the field. He is underneath Brian Merle Jr. for the 6th place spot. We saw Jr. clobber the outside wall heading off of turn number 2. Looked like he just got super tight, but Jr. is able to get clear over Joe Wright for the time being. Joe Wright, the lowest Final 4 driver at the moment. He struggled in this race thus far. Going to try to look to improve as the race goes on. There we go. He's able to get back under Brian Merle Jr. once again. Heading off of turn number 2. They're pretty much door to door. Advantage actually might be on the outside a little bit to Jr. Oh, but a great corner entry for Joe Wright. Gets him a good enough run to get him clear over Brian Merle Jr. Crossover move. Jr. dives it all the way down onto that dog leg. But it's not enough to get him underneath Joe Wright. Joe Wright keeps it in the 1st place spot for the time being. A battle for the lead maybe beginning to brew once again between Belk and Cody Moore. Devin Butchino not too far behind Moore. Top 3 very tight between each other. Less than 4 tenths separates all drivers between each other. Right now, Moore is closer to Belk than Butchino is to Moore. Cody Moore led for like a lap, but it's been mostly Jeffrey Belk in command of that lead. And Belk is hoping to hang on to the lead for the rest of this race, because that will mean he will be the champion. But Cody Moore, if he wins this race and Belk finishes second, Belk can still win the championship because Cody Moore is not one of our Final 4 drivers just because he missed a lot of the season. Missed about 10 races. So that took away his playoff eligibility. Cody Moore without a win this season. Looking to grab his first win of the season tonight. But he's got a hard-charging Devin Butchino coming up behind him in that 68 machine. Last time by, Butchino was faster than Moore. Right now, Devin looking high, looking low, trying to set up the pass, looking to see where Moore is making the most mistakes, where he's leaving room on the bottom. That's what you got to do when you run behind somebody. You learn a lot of things when you're running that close to somebody like Butchino is to Moore. You can see a lot of what they're doing. And that can help you as you're trying to make the pass. It can help you for later in the race. And it can help you the next time you come to the track. So the next time these drivers will come to Phoenix, with Devin Butchino kind of learning and seeing what Moore's doing, he'll know exactly where some of his trouble spots are. Cody Moore reeling in Jeffrey Belk now for this lead. Trying his best to, but Belk is just doing a great job keeping it smooth, keeping it steady, keeping it consistent. And that's why, despite Cody Moore maybe having a couple faster lap times than Belk, that's why Belk has been able to keep it into the lead. Because Cody Moore, I mean, he's been all over the track. He's trying to use every inch of this racetrack. Look at that. You could throw a blanket over your top three now. Very close battle. We see Butchino, or excuse me, Moore getting right up to the back bumper of Belk. As I say that, the gap between those two increases. Top three running all very close to each other. We're just waiting on who is going to be the first one to make a move. Will it be Belk? Will it be Moore? Will it be Butchino? Or actually, no, Belk can't make a move. Will it be Moore? Will it be Butchino? Belk just has to hold off these two. He only has to play defense while, only has to play offense. Same thing with Devin Butchino. He only has to play offense as he tries to get by Cody Moore here. But Cody Moore, he's in a tough situation. He's having to fight a battle on two fronts. He's having to play offense and defense at the same time, trying to get by Jeffrey Belk and trying to hold off Devin Butchino. But speaking of Jeffrey Belk, Cody Moore dives it down into turns 3 and 4, trying to make the pass on Belk. We see Belk has the nose as they cross the start-finish line, and he is able to shut the door as they head through the dogleg into 1 and 2. So Cody Moore tried it there, but it wasn't quite enough to have a good enough run to get by Jeffrey Belk there. Shoot, I almost forgot. We have a stage break tonight, like always. And tonight's stage break is going to be on lap number 50. So, it's not going to be too much longer. Only 15 laps until the stage break will come out. The caution flag will fly. It'll give drivers an opportunity to come in, take tires, take fuel, and we'll get the field bunched back up. But it's not like the field needs to be bunched back up because your top three all running very close to each other. But I will say, once you get past Devin Butchino, the field is a lot more spread out. Luckily, it's these positions that really matter, the top three that are having these awesome battles. But, I mean, these three have been running close together for so long, but nobody has been able to make a pass yet. So everybody being very patient. Cody Moore able to get right up to the back bumper of Belk as they head through the dogleg. Maybe going to try to set something up here through 1 and 2. He does not. Now Butchino reels in Cody Moore for that second place position. He gets close to that back bumper. Butchino maybe going to try to dive it down into 3 and 4. No, doesn't have quite enough of a run to do that. Now it's Cody Moore who's getting close to that back bumper of Jeffrey Belk. Looks like the gap between Belk and Moore. Belk trying to extend it. But I don't know. And then behind them, the next car is Dave Wright, who is 9/10 behind Devin Butchino, who was once again getting very close to that back bumper of Cody Moore. Cody Moore looks like he's gotten the bumper before. That rear end is pushed in from some damage from another car. Not sure when that occurred. But luckily it's in the rear of the car, so it's not affecting him aerodynamically. Actually, the spoiler is messed up a little bit, which could affect the car. The downforce. Gosh, drivers, we see Dave Wright now into the wall off of 2. Drivers really pushing up there in that certain spot. It's been a trouble spot for drivers thus far. 9 laps to go into the stage. At this point, stage points don't really matter. Just because this is the final race of the season, it's not really helping you for the future, because there will be no future, just because this is the final race. Of course, there will be a future of this series, with Season 5 coming up in 3 weeks. It'll be the next gens. So, a fun new car for these drivers to try out. It's the next gens have been on the sim for almost 2 years now. They were released in 2021. However, they've had a lot of changes made to them since then. So the league decided that since they had been developed, they'd be tweaked for quite some time now. Now would be the time to finally introduce them as the top series. Tuesday nights will remain the truck series, but Wednesday nights will be changing to the Xfinity series. Devin Butchino just continuing to try to get by Cody Moore for this second place spot now. He's got a nice run off the dog leg, hitting into 1 and 2. But we saw Cody Moore with good entry speed there. Top 3 starting to get spread out for a little bit as we approach 5 to go until the stage. Jeffrey Belk, 4/10 lead. Now 5/10 over second place Cody Moore. Devin Butchino trying his best to keep up with Cody for this second place position, but Cody starting to spread that gap between himself and Butchino out. Before we get to the stage break, I want to talk about the track that we are racing at tonight. Nestled in the foothills of Arizona's Estrella Mountains, Phoenix Raceway is one of America's most challenging ovals. Though originally built for open-wheel racing over the past 2 decades, the Desert Flower has become even more famous for stock car competition. With its straight front straight and asymmetrical layout, including a trademark left-hand dogleg on the backstretch, this demanding 1-mile circuit has been a favorite with top driving talent since it opened in 1964. That fall, Mario Andretti got his big career break when he manhandled an old front-engine Offie Roadster Indy car around the tricky track. Other legendary Indy shoes include A.J. Foyt, Parnelli Jones, numerous Unsers, Michael Andretti, Sam Hornish Jr., and Dario Franchitti all competed successfully at Phoenix Raceway, as did Dutchman Arie Luyendyk. NASCAR first came to the Valley of the Sun in 1988, and stock car drivers have since found Phoenix Raceway every bit as challenging as their open-wheel counterparts. The list of NASCAR winners reads like a who's who of stock car racing, including Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, the father and son Earnhardts, Bill Elliott, Tony Stewart, Mark Martin, Curtin, Kyle Busch, and Matt Kenseth. In 2012, the International Speedway Corporation completed a major overhaul of ISM Raceway that widened the front straight to 62 feet, repaved the pit stalls with concrete, and moved the dogleg outward by 95 feet while increasing its radius to 500 feet and changing its banking to 10 to 11 degrees. In addition, the track changed to progressive banking in turns 1 and 2, while turns 3 and 4 were changed to 8 and 9 degrees in banking, and an infield road course was removed, making Phoenix Raceway an oval-only facility. Although iRacing remodeled its digital versions of Phoenix Raceway to reflect those changes, the oval's previous layout was also retained as Phoenix International Raceway Circuit 2008 and includes the 13-turn 1.51-mile road course that hosted professional sports car racing from 2000 to 2006. And we are coming up on the stage caution. Jeffrey Belk has the lead, a 1-second lead over second place Devin Butchino, and there we go. He will win. The stage caution flag comes out. And let's take a look now at your top 10 after the stage. Jeffrey Belk will win the stage. Devin Butchino second. Looks like he was able to get by Cody Moore. Cody Moore third. Eddie Morris fourth. Joe Wright fifth. Dave Wright sixth. Brian Merle Jr. seventh. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence eighth. Josh Hall ninth. And then David Hartney, he finishes 10th. So Jeffrey Belk off to a good start. He wins the stage. And this will definitely give him momentum for these next 100 laps as he tries to get the championship. There's the entire field heading onto pit road, this very odd pit road where you enter on the backstretch. Jeffrey Belk will have the advantage considering he does have that first pit stall. Looks like David Hartney is going to stay out. He's going to try to get one of his laps back. And there we go. Drivers, 4 tires and fuel. Who's going to be the first one off? And it will be Jeffrey Belk. Jeffrey Belk wins the race off of pit road. Then it's Devin Butchino, Cody Moore, Eddie Morris, Joe Wright. You got Brian Merle Jr., Cheeseburger, Josh Hall, Dave Wright still on pit road. Looks like they're all getting damage fixed, I assume, from tagging that outside wall multiple times. There's Cheeseburger off in 6th, Josh Hall in 7th, Dave Wright in 8th, and looks like Junior is going to come off pit road in 9th when he does come out. So while this caution is out, here's a look at where our final 4 drivers are at. Jeffrey Belk is in 1st. Devin Butchino is in 2nd. 4th is Eddie Morris. And then rounding out your top 5, that is Joe Wright. So all of the final 4 drivers in the top 5. The cream has risen to the top. The only driver not in the top 5 that isn't a Final 4 driver, that is Cody Moore, who has been very fast tonight, keeping it in that top 3 and looking to try to play spoiler tonight. Devin Butchino will be looking for his 2nd career Xfinity Series championship. He won it last season, Season 3, while the rest of the drivers, Jeffrey Belk, Eddie Morris, and Joe Wright, they are all looking for their first career SCSRA Xfinity Series championship. Devin Butchino got his 2nd career Truck Series championship last night at Las Vegas. So Butchino looking to sweep both series championships tonight. Lights on the pace car out. We're getting ready to go back green. This will be the final admin-controlled caution. If another caution comes out, it will be for an on-track incident. If not, the only other caution that will come out will be because... So this will be the last admin-controlled caution. Any other cautions that will come out will be because of an on-track incident. If not, then we will go green the rest of the way. There they are. On to the backstretch, heading into 3 and 4. It is going to be a 95-lap shootout. We'll most likely have some green flag pit stops if we go green the rest of the way. Green flag is back out. There's Jeffrey Belk taking off. He leads the field into that dog leg up to the gears side by side for 2nd. We got Devin Butchino. He's got the nose over Cody Moore, and he is able to get clear. Now we're side by side for 3rd. Eddie Morris and Cody Moore going at it. Ooh, getting a little bit loose there off of 2 is Cody Moore, and that will give some momentum to Eddie Morris on the outside. He will take that third-place position away from Cody Moore. See, Joe Wright pushes up way up there up the track. He falls to 6th. He's got Josh Hall looking underneath him, looking to try to put him in 7th place right now. Devin Butchino trying to reel in Jeffrey Belk for this race lead. And look who's in 3rd place. That's Eddie Morris taking advantage of these fresh tires, looking to try to make some moves here. Still, top 3, all championship 4 drivers. And Eddie Morris just ran the fastest lap time of the race, 27.74 is the time for Morris, and he is right on Devin Butchino's back bumper, filling up his rearview mirror and looking to try to make the pass here. Eddie Morris doing what you do when you run behind somebody, looking to see what Butchino's doing, where he's braking, where he's lifting, where he's getting back into the gas. Eddie Morris dives it way down onto the dogleg, able to get to Butchino's door. Wow, Morris really made the dogleg work, and he almost has the nose over Butchino, still at about his door, now to about his rear quarter panel, and Butchino is able to shut the door on the backstretch. Eddie Morris going to maybe try to dive it low into 3 and 4. He is not able to. Devin Butchino will keep it in that 2nd place spot for the time being as he tries to reel in Jeffrey Belk for this lead. Eddie Morris keeping right up with Devin Butchino, though, not letting him get too far ahead. Once again, top 3, all very close to each other. Two tenths off. That's Devin Butchino. 2 tenths off the leader. He actually ran a faster lap time than Belk last time by, though, by about 400ths. He's going to have to be a little bit faster if he wants to make it by Jeffrey Belk, or he's going to have to wait for Belk to make a mistake, which we've seen is very easy. And we've got a yellow flag out here. 3rd caution of the race. This is the most cautions that we've seen in a while in this series. All right. Watching Cody Moore here. He's got Josh Hall behind him. Joe Wright in front of him. So he's running in this 5th place spot. Coming to 2. Coming off of 2. 2 is seeming to be a trouble spot for some drivers. And we just see he doesn't have the right angle off the corner. Pushes way up the track. Hard into the inside wall. And this sends him down into that inside safer barrier. Damaging the front end of that 52 machine. He seems to be out of the racing groove. Does anybody else make contact with him? No, looks like nobody else does, so it was just a single car incident for Cody Moore. Got some drivers onto pit road. Dave Wright grabbing some fuel. Cody Moore taking tires. Looks like Brian Merle Jr. takes tires as well. Let me confirm for these two, because that would be game changer. I think they have 3 sets. Yep, Cody Moore taking one of his sets. Wow. That'll be interesting with the pit strategy. So Cody Moore now is one of the only drivers on fresh tires, about 10 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field. I have a feeling Moore is going to be coming up to the field like a rocket. Because, gosh, fresh tires just makes the car feels so much better, even if you have 10 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field. It still makes a difference. So lights on that Ford Mustang pace car are out, getting ready to go back green. Jeffrey Belk starting on the bottom, Devin Butchino on the top. Behind them is Eddie Morris and Joe Wright. Your top 4 is our final 4 drivers, so this works out perfectly. The cream now has officially risen to the top. And I believe for the first time in this race, the top 4 is our championship 4 drivers. So this will be fun to watch now. Everybody now is all in close proximity as these guys duke it out for the championship. So here we go. Coming to the restart zone. Green flag is back out. There's Jeffrey Belk taking off up through the gears as they head into the dog leg. Eddie Morris will drive it down there onto the dog leg, trying to get clear over Butchino. He has the nose heading into 1 and 2, and he has the advantage on that bottom lane. Still has the nose as they head off onto the back stretch. That dog leg worked out for Eddie. Really taking advantage of that. Devin Butchino trying his best to hold his own on the outside. They're pretty much door-to-door as they cross the start-finish line. Eddie Morris will dive it down to the dog leg once again. And he has the nose. Oh, no, the momentum goes back to the high side. Back to Butchino. Now Butchino has the nose as they head on to the backstretch. Eddie Morris to about, Butchino able to get back clear over Eddie Morris. Now Butchino will set his sights on your first place driver, Jeffrey Belk. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence into the pits. Looks like some damage on that 47 machine. Devin Butchino trying his best to reel in Jeffrey Belk for this first place position. The gap extending between Belk and Butchino last time by. Belk was a little bit faster there. I will say this, despite taking tires, Cody Moore is running. What in the world? Cody Moore, his entire front end is off of that 52 machine. Don't know what happened there. So it looks like the gap between Butchino and Morris is extending. Now Belk trying to do the same thing between himself and Devin Butchino. Top 4 still all of our final 4 drivers. They would all have green names. Unfortunately, this season we did not have the highlighted names for the playoff drivers. That is okay. Because just know, top 4 playoff drivers. That changes, though, as Brian Merle Jr. gets by Joe for that 4th place position. Nice run off of 4 there for Devin Butchino. He is right up to Belk's back bumper as they head on to the dog leg. Maybe trying to set something up for 1 and 2 here. Dave Wright into the pits. unscheduled pit window is not open yet. I will say pit window will probably open at about lap number 90. And it will probably close at about lap 110. So about a 20 lap window that you'll see these drivers come in. Some drivers are going to try to short pit it. Some drivers will try to extend their run. And that's the beauty of these long green flag runs. You really get to see pit strategy come into play. Man, Belk just trying his best to extend that gap between himself and Butchino, but Butchino is just like that fly that won't go away. He's keeping it right within a distance where you don't want to make a mistake. Keeping it a distance where Jeffrey Belk is feeling pressured. There we go. That gap finally extending between Belk and Butchino. Last time by, Belk was about a tenth faster than Devin Butchino. This time, I'm going to turn up the volume and pump up the intensity here. You will get to see the sights and hear the sounds of the racetrack. Here we go. That'll do it for Pump Up the Intensity. Hopefully you enjoyed us turning up the volume as we set our sights back to the racing action. We've got a tight battle for this first place position between Devin Butchino and Jeffrey Belk. I'll tell you what, these two have battled it out all season long. They've kind of built up a rivalry, and they're about to battle for the lead. Butchino looks low, heading into 3 and 4. He's about to that rear quarter panel of the 54. But Belk trying to have a nice run on the outside. Butchino drives it all the way down onto that dog leg. And he actually gains a little bit of time. Now he's right about door-to-door with Belk. As I say that, the outside has some good momentum, and Belk is able to shut the door on Devin Butchino. Green flag pit stop window. Going to be approaching very soon. I don't think the window is open quite yet, but it'll be in just a little bit. Here's a look at your current top 10. See where your favorite driver currently is at. Jeffrey Belk, one of our Final Four drivers, in the first place position. 3/10 behind him in second. It's Plattsburgh, New York's Devin Butchino in that second place position. Final Four driver. Third Final Four driver, that's Eddie Morris from Sevierville, Tennessee in the 8. And rounding out your top 4, Brian Merle Jr. 5th is Joe Wright. Final Four driver. 6th, Josh Hall. 7th is Cody Moore, who's actually in pit road right now. 8th, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. 9th, David Hartney. Rounding out your top 10, that is Dave Wright. I believe this is an unscheduled pit stop for Cody Moore, considering how damaged his nose is. Looks like he can't even make it to his pit stall. He resets. He has to reset there, so this will pretty much just knock Cody out of contention for this race. For the second week in a row, last week Cody's motor blew. So, in his first 2 races back in this Xfinity series, just stuff has not been going his way. Joe Wright reeling in Brian Merle Jr. for this 4th place position, trying to make the top 4 all Final Four drivers once again. Joe Wright is on that bottom lane. Nice run off at 2, trying to get to the rear quarter panel of Jr. He cannot quite get there. Jr. actually extending that gap between himself and Wright. 5/10 lead for Jeffrey Belk over Devin Butchino. After they were side by side at one point when we cut back from Pump Up the Intensity at about lap 82. Joe Wright once again trying to take that 4th place spot from Brian Merle Jr. Drives it all the way down onto that dog leg, but so does Jr. Joe Wright just trying to set up the pass, looking to see what Junior's doing, where he's making the mistakes. And Joe's actually got a nice run there into 3 and 4. Pit window is officially open. It's going to be open till about lap 110, I would say. So the time is going to start ticking for when our leaders are going to come in and get that set of fresh tires. All eyes are on Jeffrey Belk. Question is, when is he going to come in? Devin Butchino, Eddie Morris, Joe Wright, your Final Four drivers. They're going to use these green flag pit stops as an opportunity to try to leapfrog each other in the standings. And of course, drivers are going to have to deal with the very wacky pit road that I mentioned in my keys to the race. We'll look at the cockpit cam of Jeffrey Belk here. Look at this. Heading off of 2. Right there on the backstretch. That is where pit road is, in a very odd location, unconventional compared to the other tracks that these drivers race at. So you're carrying a lot of speed through 1 and 2, and you got to get it woed down to get to the pit road on the backstretch. And it's a long pit road. The pit boxes don't begin till about 3 and 4 almost. Just a really, really weird pit road. So hopefully these drivers have taken an opportunity in practice and in qualifying to learn pit road under speed, because these drivers are having to go from about 157 miles per hour down to pit road speed, which is maybe 45, 50 miles per hour. That's a lot of speed that you have to get woed down from. Let's see, right about on exit of 2, we see Belk is going about 120. Sorry, about 120 to 45. And you got to get woed down pretty quickly. That's a tough task for these drivers. So looks like nobody really going for the short pitch strategy. For the time being. We might see somebody head down there. Joe Wright once again trying to get by Brian Myrtle Jr. for this fourth place spot. Joe Wright drives it down there into 3 and 4. Trying to get there to the back bumper of Brian Myrtle Jr. Joe Wright, right up to the back bumper. And he's looking low as they head into 3 and 4. He tucks in line, though. Gonna keep it behind Junior there for the time being. Jeffrey Belk continues to stay out. 8/10 lead over second place Devin Butchino. It's been a wild season for sure for Jeffrey Belk. It's been a lot of ups and downs. The ups have certainly... Oh, and there we go. Looks like Devin Butchino going for the short pitch strategy. Puts his Ford Mustang on to pit road from second place. So this will put Eddie Morris in second place now. And Devin Butchino, he will have this track position advantage. But after everybody else comes in, he will have the oldest tires out of everybody in the field. And as we hit lap 100, I would say now the right on time strategies begin. These are the drivers that are pitting about right on time, right as expected, about lap 100. To about lap 105, and then we're going to start seeing the drivers that are really trying to extend that run. So now a second separates majority of the field here. Belk with a 5-second lead over second place Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris now into the pits right on time for that 8 machine. His teammate Joe Wright coming in behind him. So this will put now Brian Myrtle Jr. in second, Josh Hall in third. Jeffrey Belk continuing to stay out here. Still, if he comes in, it'll probably be around right on time. David Hartney in now. Will his IDBC Sim Racing teammate, Josh Hall, follow suit? And I guess Jeffrey Belk also with IDBC. 8 seconds between Belk and Brian Merle Jr. Belk still has to come in, though. Cheeseburger and Wright still have not come in yet as well, although they sit 7th and 9th. So one more lap for Belk to be right on time. Doesn't come in this time by. I think him, Junior, and Josh are going to be really extending that run. Yeah, looks like Jeff is really just trying to extend this run here, trying to just get everything out of these tires, trying to maybe run the tank dry. And I believe Junior and Hall are following suit, extending their runs as well. Joe Wright on these fresh tires. He just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 27.66. Looks like 5 laps in is about the sweet spot for these tires. Joe currently runs in this 6th place spot, trying to reel in his teammate Eddie Morris for 5th and also trying to get back onto the lead lap. Gosh, Jeffrey Belk really extending his run. Must be content with the car, even as these tires get very worn. Same thing with Juniors, same thing with Hall. Whoever is the last driver to come into the pits will have the freshest tires out of the entire field. If nobody comes in this time by, these drivers will have gone long past my expected pit window. Yep, Jeffrey Belk coming in this time by. Will his teammate Josh Hall follow suit? Yep, looks like he is. So Brian Merle Jr. with Jeffrey Belk staying out. Junior comes in. Josh Hall looks like he's staying out as well. So Junior, Hall going long beyond the pit window. Just trying to get everything out of their cars. Belk among the final 4 contenders. He will have the freshest tires on this final green flag run that we are having. It's like Brian Merle Jr., Josh Hall continue to stay out. Brian Merle Jr., he's got a 5-second lead over 2nd place Josh Hall. Right now, the first driver on fresh tires is Devin Butchino, who runs in 3rd. And Devin is about 18 seconds behind Brian Merle Jr. here. Brian Myrtle Jr. could play spoiler tonight. Because the fact that when he comes in, Jeffrey Belk just ran the fastest lap time of the race on these fresh tires. 27.56 is the time, and he's able to he's able to pass Joe Wright on the outside, moving up into the top 5. He'll set his sights now on your 4th place driver, Eddie Morris. Looks like for the time being, Junior Hall continue to stay out. And again, looks like Belk improves on his best lap time now to a 27.54. Closing that gap between himself and Eddie Morris for this 4th place spot. There's Jeffrey Belk to the outside of Eddie Morris for this 4th place spot, and those fresh tires just allow Belk to go right by Eddie. So now Jeffrey Belk has just got to reel in Devin Butchino for this 3rd place spot, and he will be the first driver on fresh tires, but 5 seconds separate Butchino and Belk. So he'll have to close that gap. Still awaiting Brian Myrtle Jr. and Josh Hall to come into the pits. They are really, really extending the runs here. Josh Hall into the pits now. So he is the second to last driver that needs to come in. This just leaves Brian Myrtle Jr. as the last driver that needs to make a green flag pit stop. At least for the front runners, or the drivers on the lead lap. Cheeseburger and Wright, Dave Wright that is, they have not made pit stops yet, but Cheeseburger's down 2 laps, Wright is down 5 laps. Both of them out of contention for this race. But, Cheeseburger, if we get 2 cautions, he can get back on the lead lap. It's like Myrtle Jr. getting loose off of 2 there. This car is just got to be starting to get a pain to drive here with these old tires. Whether the car is getting really tight or if it's really starting to get loose. I don't know how much longer Junior's going to be able to last. And right as I say that, looks like Brian Myrtle Jr. coming into the pits. And he will be the final driver that needs to make a green flag pit stop. He'll be the first leader on fresh tires. Or he'll have the freshest tires out of all of the cars here. So with that, Devin Butchino will assume this race lead. As he does that, he's got a 2-second lead now over 2nd place Jeffrey Belk. Eddie Morris in 3rd, Joe Wright in 4th. And then I believe Brian Myrtle Jr. will assume this 5th place spot. So your top 4, all final 4 drivers. I will say this, watch out for Brian Myrtle Jr. with these fresh tires. This pit strategy may work out perfectly for him. Quickly, before we get into these final 25 laps, I want to say make sure to go visit our web store, intensitybroadcasting.com. Intensity Broadcasting features merchandise from your favorite broadcaster, your favorite drivers, and so much more. We've got all of our Intensity Broadcasting stuff on there, a bunch of cool Atlee Weiss Racing merchandise, auto racing novelty items. We got our driver collections, Carson Hayslip, Raven Kimball, Phoenix Kimball, a bunch of up-and-coming racers. Go support their racing. We got our lifestyle collections, Underwear, Carefree, and then our team collections, which is Dylan Spain Motorsports. We also have league collections, especially make sure to check out the SCSRA section of the league collections and pick up an SCSRA t-shirt. Comes in 5 different colors: black, navy, red, sport gray, or white, and sizes small to 5XL. We got a lot of cool items on the IntensityBroadcasting.com store, so pick something up for yourself, pick something up for a friend, and check it out. Got a lot of cool items. So, 25 laps to go. Devin Butchino, one of your Final Four contenders, is in the lead, searching for a second Xfinity Series championship. 4th career SCSRA championship, if you count the Truck Series. In fact, he won the Truck Series championship last night at Las Vegas, so looking to try to sweep both championships this season. But don't count out Jeffrey Belk, who is on fresher tires compared to Devin Butchino. Belk looking very, very fast right now as he tries to track him down. 3rd place, Eddie Morris, another one of our Final Four drivers. He's a little bit a ways behind your leaders, but he also has fresher tires compared to Devin Butchino. And then lastly, 4th place, Joe Wright, was definitely the dark horse Final Four contender heading into this race. But hey, don't count him out. Crazier things have happened. This is auto racing. Anything can happen. He's only 6 seconds off of Devin Butchino and also has fresher tires compared to Butchino. Gosh, 23 laps to go with Devin in the lead. A lot has just got to be going through Devin's head right now. I know if I was in the position, I'd just be getting so nervous. As I'm so close to a championship, only 22 laps away, yet so far from a championship, 22 laps away. Devin Butchino was close yet far from a championship. As 21 laps as Butchino crosses the line is a long way to go, especially with a hard-charging Jeffrey Belk trying to reel him in for this lead. Belk and Butchino, like I mentioned, they've had kind of a rivalry throughout this season. These two just going back and forth each race. But hey, it's been a very clean rivalry. They're not reckless. They don't dump each other. They've just had really hard racing whenever they're around each other. And it's made for some great finishes. Sometimes Devin finishes in front of Belk. Other times, Belk has finished in front of Devin. I know this would mean a ton to Jeffrey Belk, as he has never won an SCSRA championship in the Trucks and Xfinity Series. $18 laps to go for Devin Butchino. Good run tonight for Brian Merle Jr. He is our highest running non-playoff driver. Got those fresh tires on that 13 machine right now. Looks like Joe Wright able to make it by Eddie Morris for this 3rd place position. Good move there by Joe. And that will put him one step closer for your leaders as he chases his first career SCSRA Xfinity Series championship. Time running out with 17 laps to go, but it's not over yet. Oh my gosh! Whoa! This is a game changer. Caution flag is out with 17 laps to go. Holy moly. Let's watch what happened here. I thought, this was going to go green for the rest of the way. But no. We're going to have the field bunched back up for a little late race shootout to decide this championship. So we're watching David Hartney. He's got Michael Lawrence behind him. We see Lawrence looking to Hartney's outside. Ooh, looks like Hartney there comes up the track or just gets loose and goes right across the nose of Lawrence, sending himself and Lawrence into the outside wall. Hartney trying his best to save it. Ooh. And he's hard into that outside wall once again there. See Joe Wright almost getting into him. That, folks, is what will bring out the caution, leading us into a late race shootout. We see majority of the field coming in. But we see Joe Wright on a different strategy, perhaps. Let's watch Joe Wright's pit stop here. Yep. Right side tires only for Joe Wright. Gives him the shorter pit stop and puts him in the race lead. While Devin Butchino, Jeffrey Belk, Eddie Morris, Brian Merle Jr., Brian Merle Jr., they all take 4 tires. Wow. This is going to be interesting. Joe Wright going for the track position approach. We'll see how much of an advantage 4 tires is compared to just 2 right sides. Wow. This will be interesting now for Joe Wright. Can he hang on to this lead? I know there's definitely a lot going through his mind right now with the bold decision, but it could play in his favor as the checkered flag waves. Lights on the pace car out. Getting ready to go back green. We're going to have a 12-lap shootout to decide this thing. Your top 4. Your final 4 drivers. Your 4 drivers fighting for the championship. Joe Wright in first. Devin Butchino in second. Jeffrey Belk in third. Eddie Morris in fourth. From Butchino to Morris, they are on fresh tires while Joe took right sides only. Pace car is in. We've got this long back stretch to let these drivers tighten these belts one more time as they approach this shootout. Drama-wise, it couldn't have worked out better. Green flag is back out. There's Joe Wright leading the field to the start-finish line. Great restart for Jeffrey Belk. He's able to get underneath Devin Butchino into that second-place position as he clears him on the dog leg. Now Jeffrey Belk trying to reel in Joe Wright, trying to use those 4 tires to his advantage. Looking to get to that rear quarter panel as they head off of turn number 2. Nice run for Jeffrey Belk. He is underneath Joe Wright heading into 3 and 4. Joe Wright trying his best to hold his own on the outside, but Belk now, he's able to get clear over Joe Wright, and Joe Wright, with those only 2 right side tires, he loses positions and falls to 4th. So now, Jeffrey Belk is your race leader with 11 laps to go, but Devin Butchino is right behind him. Same thing with Eddie Morris, your top 3 all tight on each other. As Jeffrey Belk heads through turns 3 and 4, he's going to make it 10 laps to go on the ticker. 10 laps to go, that's 40 more turns to put Jeffrey Belk in victory lane. We see Eddie Morris trying to dive it down onto that dog leg and get to that 2nd place position last time by. Jeffrey Belk, he ran the fastest lap time of the race, 27.43 is the time for that 54 machine. Looking to try to just keep it in this lead now for these next 9 laps. Got to be smooth. Got to be consistent. Got to be mistake-free for these next 9 laps. Or else Devin Butchino can pounce on the mistakes, take the lead, and grab the championship. This is not only for the lead. This is for the championship between these 3 drivers, Jeffrey Belk, Devin Butchino, Eddie Morris. These 3 have worked so hard throughout this season to get to this moment right here, to get to this moment here at Phoenix. And 2nd place and 3rd place will just be a disappointment. Because they're right there. They're right by Jeffrey Belk here with 8 laps to go. The gap between Belk and Butchino is extending. Got it to almost above 3/10 now. This is not what Devin Butchino wants to see. Last time by, Butchino was about a 200th faster than Belk, but that's not going to be enough for him if he wants to try to get by this 54 machine. 7 to go for Jeffrey Belk as he drives on the backstretch. Butchino within striking distance. Or he's getting within striking distance. He's got 6 laps to try to do so. Morris diving it down onto that dog leg. Not enough to get under Butchino there. Jeffrey Belk heads through turns 3 and 4. He will make it 5 laps to go on the ticker. 3/10 lead over 2nd place Devin Butchino. What a drive it has been for Jeffrey Belk tonight. Started on the pole, has led majority of the laps. He's just shown great speed tonight here at Phoenix. Despite it being the first time that this Xfinity series has ever ran here at Phoenix. Belk has had a great season. 2 victories, a pole, 10 top 5s, 14 top 10s. Minus the pole statistic, it's pretty much identical to Devin Butchino. Belk, Butchino. They've just been battling it out all season long. And funny how it's going to come down to these 2 as they make it 4 laps to go. That's not what Butchino wanted. We saw he got high into the outside wall, slowing up his momentum. The gap increasing between Belk and Butchino. Belk will make it 3 laps to go now. Time is running out for Devin Butchino. Does he have anything else in his hat of tricks to get up there to Jeffrey Belk? I'm not sure. There he is, heading through turns 3 and 4. Making it 2 laps to go now for Jeffrey Belk. Man, I just can't stress it enough. What a race it has been for Jeffrey Belk. He's gotten 3 wins in Xfinity Series career. 1 in Season 2 at Darlington. He's gotten 2 wins this season at Michigan and Homestead. And he heads off of turn number 4, taking the white flag, looking to try to add a 3rd win to his great season. It'll be here at a very challenging track that is Phoenix. Heading through 1 and 2. He's got a 9/10 lead, now 1 second lead over 2nd place Devin Butchino. unless he makes a mistake. Butchino is not a factor. Heading through turns 3 and 4. What a race for Jeffrey Belk. Newcastle, Delaware's Jeffrey Belk will win your SCSRA Xfinity Series Championship by grabbing the race win here at Phoenix. Wow. Jeffrey Belk, one of the happiest people on earth right now, grabbing the championship. Jeffrey Belk, wow. Devin Butchino comes up just short in that second place position. I know he's kicking himself after just coming up just short. Eddie Morris finishing third, not to be outdone. Came in as one of the kind of dark horses in this Championship 4 race. I would say Butchino and Belk were the favorites, but Eddie Morris, he held his own with these two, bringing it home in third. And then also congrats to Joe for finishing fourth. Jeffrey Belk, he will burn it down here at Phoenix, celebrating a race well run, a season well run. And I'm just going to turn up the volume and you'll get to listen to this burnout. Polish victory lap for Jeffrey Belk as he takes it around clockwise. The speedway popularized by the late Alan Kulwicki. And there we go. Jeffrey Belk bringing that car. Going to continue to burn out some more here. I know his friends and family watching at home. Excited. All his fans. Sponsors. See dirt black clothing on the car. W Energy. And then, of course, his team happy for him. Jeffrey Belk with IDBC Racing. He drives it now onto pit road, and he is going to park that 54 machine in victory lane. There you go. Going to pull up here the results for this race. Starting off, we're going to pull in your third place finisher in the standings, driver for CCM Motorsports, owner of Morris Customs. From Sevierville, Tennessee, let's pull in Eddie Morris. Eddie, this is Brad Atlee in the broadcast room. You got a copy?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Doing pretty good up here in the broadcast room. And as you tried to fight for the championship tonight, looks like you were doing pretty good on track, parking it on the podium, but, of course, coming just short for the championship tonight. You had a great run. We're running in kind of that third place spot for a majority of the race. Tried to take advantage of the green flag pit stops and maybe leapfrog Devin or Belk. Couldn't quite do that. Then we saw that caution come out. Field got bunched back up, and we saw the restart there. And once again, you just couldn't quite get by Butchino and Belk there and just end up just finishing in that third place spot. So great race tonight, but coming up just short for the championship. I mean, what were your take on this race here?
I mean, it happens, man. you can't win them all. The only thing you can really ask is to have a shot at the end. Um, and I never felt like I didn't really have a shot because something could always happen, even though those guys were faster than me, which is cool. Like I said, anything can happen. That's why we race them. Um, it just didn't happen, so finished third. Joe, he tried some strategy there with some right sides, and I don't think it worked out too well for him. But honestly, I was thinking about doing the same thing too, and I was like, well, we got a 50-50 chance of this working, so I'll take the 4, and he took the 2, and it didn't work. I still couldn't pass Butchino and Jeff, so shout out to them. Congratulations to Jeff. Uh, Man, crazy season. Looking forward to doing some recruiting. The race was fun. Uh, yeah, it just wasn't fast enough, man. And like I said, just thankful to have a shot at it.
I know tires play a big role here at Phoenix. What was the key to saving tires tonight on such a tricky track?
It was a struggle. Like the left sides, they weren't wearing that much. I think 95 was the lowest I went on my left sides. 60s was the lowest I went on my right fronts. Maybe 59, I think, on that long stint. But I mean, it really wasn't too awful bad in terms of numbers, but it sure did feel like it was pretty bad in the car because I was pretty shocked. I was like, "Oh man, I only had 60. I need to run it a little harder," but I couldn't. So I don't know. Tires were definitely in. The fall off was crazy. I think I did half of a fuel run, and I think it was like 1.6. I was off, so I knew it was going to factor in. Um, I was just that caution at the end, man. That was about my only chance, and went and got some freshies, put myself in the best position possible, and still wasn't good enough. So, and that's fine. We're cool with it. Top three's not bad. Top 4, final 4, man. Being in the 4, it's awesome. And I get to talk to you, Atman.
Absolutely. Always happy to have you here in the broadcasting booth. Before we let you go, Eddie, is there any sponsors or shout-outs you'd like to thank for your great season?
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Shout out to Intensity Broadcasting, the best broadcasters in the business. Um, Got to give a shout out to Dev Sports Cards. Check him out on eBay. If you didn't get any of those Easter basket things, cards to stuff in some Easter baskets from Dev Sports Cards over Easter, then there's something wrong with you.
Mother's Day now.
But they're yeah. See, there's other things that come up, and
Mom's
it's
favorite
never too
player.
late. Yeah, exactly. Throw it in there and give him a shout over at Dev Sports Cards on eBay. Um, yeah, Moore's Customs for these paints. Shout out to my teammates, Joe, Nudie, Austin Blaylock. Um, yeah, man, everybody that allows me to do this, all the admins that make this possible. Hopefully, we can get some recruiting done and put on some good shows for you guys again next season.
Awesome. Congrats on the podium tonight, Eddie. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, brother. You too.
Thank you. All right, let's now pull in your second place finisher, runner-up for the season. He was your SCSRA champion for the Xfinity Series in Season 3, your Truck Series champion in Season 1 and Season 4. Man from Plattsburgh, New York, came just short this season for the championship, getting 2 in a row. Let's pull in driver of the number 68, Devin Butchino. Devin, this is Atlee in the broadcast room. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
I got you. Well, I know, definitely frustrated just coming up just short for the championship here. I know you were running kind of behind Belk for a lot of that race after starting in the third place position, and you were able to leapfrog him after pit strategy, had the lead over him, and then unfortunately we saw that caution flag came out, bunching the field back up. He restarted in second, but on that restart, Belk was able to get underneath you, and he was able to take that lead and tried to keep up with him, but he just was able to extend that gap to about a second during that last green flag run. So, just walk us through your race tonight, and, what do you think could you done differently to put you as the champion tonight?
Yeah, just not had a really bad caution there with 11 to go. I feel like it was whoever was in front of the other at the end. Played the strategy well, got in front of them, had our shot, and then it just got killed with caution. So inside lane jumped, and we just couldn't go. So just a really bad caution, man. We were in a groove, felt like we had our stuff together, and just very bad caution. That's it. I don't really have much more to say about it.
I got you. Well, I know. With Phoenix, we got that dog leg. Were you utilizing that any throughout this race?
No, I was scrubbing a little bit of speed off the cars, and I mean, very minuscule, but I think it wears the tires a little bit more than you would need to. So, just kept it up top tonight. Felt like that's where we had the best speed.
Yes, you will. Before we let you go, is there any sponsors or shout outs you'd like to thank for your season?
Yeah, I want to thank you and your dad for coming on board for season 5. We really appreciate you guys. Do a phenomenal job. There's no one else we'd rather have doing this for us. You, Josh, your dad, we definitely appreciate it. All of our admins, everyone that stuck out this season. It's definitely an up and down season. A lot of personal issues going on outside of racing. But I can assure you these 10 people we had to stick it out were some of the best races that we've had. So thanks to everyone, Eddie Morris for Morris Customs, Dev Sports Cards. Just appreciate y'all season that, man, and we're looking forward to season 5.
Looking forward to season 5 as well. Again, congrats on the runner-up tonight, Devin. Have a great rest of your night.
You too, man. Thank you.
And now let's pull in your champion, the man from Newcastle, Delaware, driver for IDBC Sim Racing with his first SCSRA championship in the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. Happy man right now. Let's pull in Jeffrey Belk. Jeff, this is Atlee in the broadcast room. You got a copy?
Hello, Atlee.
Wow, look at that. You are the SCSRA Xfinity Series champion, and a great drive to get there tonight. I know started on the pole exactly where you want to be as you're trying to chase the championship and led majority of the laps. I know Devin Butchino kind of leapfrogged you there on the green flag pit stops, but you were able to get back by him when we saw that caution flag wave there with about 12 to go. So took advantage of the caution, had a great run there on that last green flag run, and finished with a 1-second lead over second place Devin Butchino and, taking the championship. So how does it feel to win the race? First of all, we'll just talk about the race. I mean, just talk about your journey to the victory lane tonight.
Man, I don't know if it would have been possible if we had not started on the pole. That front spot was so dominant just because you didn't have to worry about the dirty air. If you had anyone in front of you, you just lost all front end grip mid-corner.
I got you. Now we'll talk a little bit about your season. So this was your third win of the season. Prior to this, you got 2 other wins at Michigan, Homestead. Got a lot of top 5s, got a lot of top 10s. It's just a really, really successful season. I mean, just walk us through your journey through the season, your ups and downs, and I mean, how does it feel to cap it off with a championship?
Just almost this entire season was up. I can't really think of any downs that we had. I know we had issues at Watkins Glen, but I think that was in the trucks. I know we had issues with Devin. I think at Daytona that might have been in the trucks, but really, I'm just ecstatic. I've been trying to do this for years, and so many second place championship finishes, including last night, and finally got one in the books.
Now, before we let you go, Jeff, is there any sponsors or shout-outs you'd like to thank for your win, your season, your championship?
Always. First off, Dirtbag Clothing, thank you for just being on the card. Thank you for being with the team. Also, Piglet Gear, that's Michael Rosenberger, his guys. Just thank you for being a personal sponsor of mine. Weak Designs for the car, made great paint designs. All the guys at IDBC Racing, just, Josh Hall, David Wright, and David Hartney, especially tonight, they were giving me all the information I needed to try to work this race out. As always, the guys at Intensity for broadcasting, putting on such great work every week, and just everyone out there for tuning in.
Again, congrats on the championship tonight, Jeff. I mean, congrats on a race ball run. Great season, and have a great rest of your night. Go celebrate, man.
Thank you.
All right, well, that will do it for tonight's event. One more time, congratulations to Jeffrey Belk on winning the race tonight, winning the championship, and just having a great season. Congrats to everybody else who participated, the other Final 4 drivers, Devin Butchino, Eddie Morris, Joe, and thank you to everybody else. We had 24 drivers participate throughout this season. So whether you finished 5th in points or 24th in points. Thank you so much for participating this season and getting really excited. We're going to have a 3-week break, but getting excited for next season, for the first season with the next gen cars. That's going to be a lot of new things going on, and I'm excited to announce all those races. So looking forward to that. I want to thank Dev Sports Cards for sponsoring the Xfinity Series this season and returning for next season. If you are in the market for some high-quality sports cards, whether it be an autograph card or relic card or, just your favorite player, doesn't matter what type of card it is, then Dev Sports Cards is the perfect place to go. I put the link to his eBay store in the description. Thank you to Devin and Dev Sports Cards for sponsoring the series. Oh, one more thing. Thank you so much to the league admins. David Hartney, Eddie Morris, Sylvain Seagoin, Brian Nudie, Devin Butchino. Thank you so much to them for all that they do for this season. Thank you so much for them for just making it an awesome, awesome season. And I know all the admins, they just do so much for this league. They just keep this league running so smoothly. So thank you so much to all of the admins for all that they do, all the people that I just named. I want to give big thank you to the Butt Kicker for partnering with Intensity Broadcasting. Make sure to go check out their website, thebuttkicker.com, and try to find which Butt Kicker product is the right one for you. And, of course, before I go into the rest of the closing stuff, I want to thank SCSRA for giving Intensity Broadcasting to broadcast their series. I know we definitely appreciate that, and it's always great, fun, good quality racing. And a bunch of other adjectives as well could be used to describe this great league. Great people, great fun here in this league. Definitely consider checking them out on Facebook and joining the league if you're looking for a good quality iRacing league on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. I mean, they just do such a good job. This is just very well run league. So thank you so much to the SCSRA Stock Car Sim Racing Association for allowing us to broadcast their races. I want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in to watch tonight. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as that would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,500 followers on Facebook, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 1,000 followers on Twitch. Make sure to visit our Twitter page, Intensity Broad 1. We're always dropping polls and interacting with our viewers on there. We're actually at 99 followers on Twitter, so if you'd like to be our 100th follower, go to Intensity Broad 1 on Twitter and drop a follow and respond to our polls, interact with us. If you want to talk to us about everything from iRacing to IRL racing to football, just go discuss with us on there. It's a great place to talk about us and talk about your thoughts and feelings about everything with us. And make sure to go visit our web store, intensitybroadcasting.com. Got great merchandise on there from your favorite league, from your favorite broadcaster, your favorite drivers in your favorite leagues, and of course so much more. We got all of our Intensity Broadcasting merchandise on there. At-Least racing items, auto racing novelty t-shirts, and just items in general. I think we got some hats. We've got a onesie for babies. We've got all of our driver collections, lifestyle collections, team collections, and then, of course, make sure to check out our league collections, and especially make sure to visit the SCSRA section of the league collections and pick up an SCSRA t-shirt. Comes in 5 snazzy colors and sizes small to 5XL. Again, this series is going to be on about a 3-week break, but racing will resume for the duels at Daytona on May the 3rd, so turn on your notification bell so you don't miss when the SCSRA Xfinity Series returns. I'm Matt Leatman-Least on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Over and out.